Alright, so for this video we'll learn how to graph a two-variable inequality, specifically an absolute value inequality. So when we have an absolute value inequality, we know that we have to first make sure it's in our standard form. And our standard form, I'll write in red, is y equals a absolute value x minus h plus k. So in the example that we have up there, we know that that is not in the correct form. So we have to make sure it's in the correct form before we move ahead. So in order to get into the correct form, we need to bring that negative 1 over to the other side. So how do we do that? Well, we add 1 to the left side. And whatever we do to the left, we have to do to the right. So we get y is less than or equal to absolute value x plus 2 plus 1. Now that we can see that the inequality is in our correct form, we can think of this inequality as an equal sign. And we can think of it as a y equals absolute value x plus 2 plus 1. Now we're only going to think about this as an equal sign just so that we can graph it, because this is our boundary line. So the boundary line is going to be that graph of absolute value x plus 2 plus 1. Now the important things that we have to remember about this graph are our h and k values, and if it's reflecting or if it's normal like our regular absolute value x graph. So we know that there's no reflections since there's no negative a's, and we know that our h and k values have to be negative 2 and 1. We get our h and k values from here and here. This is our h and this is our k. And we know that the h and the k is our vertex. So our vertex is h, k. Now, since our h value is a positive 2, we know that in standard form it has to be negative 2. So we know that our vertex had to move to the left 2 units. So we'll go there as negative 2. And our k value, which is our y value, is 1, so we go up 1. And we put a point. Since there's no reflections, we know that it's a basic v absolute value function. We can sketch it very quickly, like so. And now we have our boundary lines. In this case, it's a greater than, it's a less than or equal to symbol, which means that our line has to be solid. If it was just a less than symbol, we would dot the line to say that the points on the line are not included. In this case, all the points on the line will be included, so we use a solid line. Now, like we did in the video before, using the line, we have to pick our test points. So we will pick the points 0, 0 again, since they're easy points, and we'll plug it back into our inequality. So we're saying, and I'll put it in green, we're saying, is 0 less than or equal to absolute value 0 plus 2 plus 1? And we get that to be, is 0 less than or equal to 3? And that is a true statement, so we put a check. Now, since that's a true statement, that means that all other points on the outside of the absolute value are true, and therefore are our solution set. So this would be the answer to how to graph a two-variable inequality, specifically an absolute value inequality.